Hi and welcome to the channel. Being interested in watches and complaining about prices may sound like a contradiction. The need for telling the time no longer requires a watch. The time can be found anywhere on your phone, computer, or a TV. But currently, there's an insidious practice of rising and confusing prices in the watch world. If you're a buyer, it's time to act. Let's begin. It's very strange to be making this video, but there is something odd going on with watch pricing. In one of my past videos, I warned that watch prices will stay high. And while some watches have shot up and then shot down, the prices today are still elevated, and this was not a bubble. Watches have entered a new era. Owning a nice watch has always been an old-fashioned practice.
Wear a watch. I always will. Since I was 13, I've worn a watch. Millennials don't wear watches. It's true. Apple Watch is not a watch, sweetheart. Checking your emails on your wrist is a cry for help. I go, Leo, what time is it? Because it doesn't tell you the time. Your watch doesn't tell you the time. It's not a watch. It's a Whoop. A Whoop? What does it tell you? It says, it tells you how you're doing. I said, well, I look at my wrist. I see a gold Rolex. I know I'm doing good.
From 2007 onwards, you could walk into a store like Rolex or AP and money was the only barrier to entry. No waiting lists or buying history needed. But that's all changed. Today, watches are the new property. It keeps going up. It's the new gold. Buy and sell, buy higher and sell even higher. But wow, what's going on here? This is obviously good old-fashioned inflation. But to understand this, let's quickly outline what inflation is. Inflation is the rising price of goods and services, which also means your money today buys less than it used to. The first is around supply and demand. The demand for goods and services could be outstripping the supply of those goods and services. This can happen in two ways. Either there's a shortage of goods and services, or there's an increase in available money, or the money people have, chasing the same amount of goods. That's a supply and demand inflation. The second type of inflation is when the input costs of goods and services have risen. This means the cost involved in the production or delivery of goods and services has increased. Examples of this could be the cost of materials have increased, or the electricity the company has to pay has increased. And what businesses do is they pass on those prices to customers. But what we're seeing in the grey and secondary market is a totally different beast. When there's higher demand or higher interest, of course sellers adjust their pricing. This is due to that higher demand and sellers taking advantage of that opportunity. Now, you could call it greedy or you could call it smart. But there's a specific term that I like to use here, and that term is called price discovery. Price discovery is the key concept. Price discovery is the practice of raising the price due to demand and assessing how much the market can bear. If there's no increase in operational costs to the company, no increase in energy bills, no wage increase, this would be a purely profit-based opportunity based on what people are willing to pay. So now we understand the key concept of how we get to these crazy prices. Now let's look at 4 factors driving the price discovery we're seeing today. This only applies to the grey market and the pre-owned market. This doesn't apply to the retail market. That's another kettle of fish altogether for another video. Yes, us, buyers. Since 2020, there's been a huge rise in interest for watches. I remember being sat at home, all businesses were closed, and I started to watch a lot of YouTube. Going down the watch YouTube rabbit hole was actually a nice distraction for me. And I must be one of the millions of people rediscovering watches and getting involved in the watch hobby. Because of this, we are the demand. Over the last 3 years, we have managed to save, accumulate more money, and decide how to spend that money. And it turns out it was on watches we always wanted. So this is a bit of a continuation from the first factor. Some of us not only saved money over the last 3 years, some of us actually became millionaires through the rising value of crypto or the rising value of properties. A lot of people became richer while others struggled. This again is the demand. This new money allowed watch sellers to charge more because they could, and the new millionaires could afford it. So this factor is quite easy. With new demand comes new businesses. There was a rise in watch seller videos, posts, and even courses. Selling watches turned out to be easy money. You either buy low or sell high, or you buy high and you sell even higher. This is probably one of the most significant factors driving price discovery today. You can see this with the wild swings in pricing. What's really driving the differences here? The wild disparities in pricing for the same watch model. Is it a new movement? Is it a new model? Maybe it's unworn. Nope. Take a look at the seller. How long have they been in business? Within the last 3 years? Now this last factor is inevitable. As a collector, it's likely you'll want to move on a watch. And when you see the prices from other sellers, of course you want to be able to sell your watch for the same price. And you'll likely get a profit if you bought your watch before 2020. So the next time you're on a site and you see absolutely no pricing consistency, these are the 4 main factors causing the wild price swings you're seeing. So as a buyer, a collector, or enthusiast, where do you go from here? As buyers, collectors, we enjoy something new. We enjoy the hunt and the gratification. But sellers are taking advantage of that with inconsistent pricing. And are they lower? No, of course they're higher. And because of that, I'm saying no. Instead, maybe it's time to ease off, switch focus. How about a holiday? Say no by not spending on a watch. Instead, spend on experiences. Spend on a moment. I really enjoyed the collecting and the hobby, but the buying experience lately has been going too far. Maybe we deserve it, I'm not sure. I cannot blame people for pursuing a profit, so go for it. But as a collector, it's time to say no by switching focus. We can buy a watch, appreciate a watch, but we cannot buy more hours, days, or years. Enjoy your time.